The topic is freedom is the ability to do what one wants to do. This is the topic. Let's start.
Sir, is my camera is not also?
Yeah, your camera is on and you are visible and you are wearing a blue t-shirt.
Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Precise.
Yes, sir.
Yes, let's get going.
Okay, so I'll start.
Okay.
Well, hello everyone. So, as we know that we are talking about the term freedom. Well, freedom itself is a universe by itself, but I like to give it a shape through my words. Before going to my points, it will be always better to start with an introduction or a definition. So the word freedom is a bit too complex to understand. Every humans have their own interpretation towards freedom. But in my point of view, what freedom actually, in my simplest terms, would be, it is the right to act, speak, and think the way that I believe. It is the ability to make whatever decisions I feel like is good for me. Freedom gives me the ability to do whatever I want, both socially and economically. Freedom, it's not like shouldn't be expounded to our lifestyle to bring out meaning from it, but rather, freedom gives the ability to live my life in my own terms and make my own decisions to the best of the knowledge I have and ability. So, well, as that said, when every thoughts and emotions are expressed, every expressions is no, when every expression is being conveyed, and every thoughts are expressed to humankind and others, and every action that I have done brings me satisfaction, is what freedom I believe in.
Even if the action harms others, then also you'll satisfy you that freedom.
It's not always that the action harms others. There are certain situations
But
when everything has its own counter limit. So
but
until
the
you use
possibilities
it
are
to,
more than 60%. What if, for example, let's take the in the crime world. Okay, let's take the crime world. So a, a rapist. Okay, he also expresses his freedom. If we go the by the definition which we have given you freedom, that is the ability to do what wants to do. Then if he rapes a victim, then is it its ability? He's following his
Sorry for
freedom only,
interrupting,
no?
Tusa. Hi everyone, I am Saikul. So I'll speak on behalf of the topic. So as you said that if someone hurts due to freedom, it's not like that. Because government implements some rules and regulations, so everyone should do or should follow the rules and regulations, so that everyone cannot harm the that you are speaking about rapes and all. For this also, government guidelines are there, strict guidelines are there, so that everyone is not doing such kinds of things. But particular men are doing. For this also, they are taking serious and strict actions, like in that Nirbhaya rape case. Four culprits were there. They will be hanged on last year because of this reason only. And even recently also, one girl, 6-year-old girl, brutally means girl case, it's raped. So means the peoples only, good peoples only killed him like anything, because he doing such kinds of things, because he is getting the freedom in the world, means in our India. That's why he did, so that the people punished him because of doing such kind of things. So it's not like that. If we are getting the freedom, then we can do anything in our society.
Okay, then what are the, I mean, when it comes to the freedom of speech, then as you know, there are no restrictions. We can talk whatever we want to, we can express ourselves in any way. But still, when it comes to this freedom of speech, there are people who gonna use some kind of offensive things about the other party or someone, and people take it to heart. So is that not a good thing, right?
Yeah,
a
in that
violation of
case also
freedom.
in that case also government guidelines are there, so that if someone is hurt because of some speech or things, they can directly file to the case, in Hindi it's called manhani case, so they can register against that particular man or particular
Cycle,
person.
can you give me the, sorry to intervene you, but can you give me the definition of freedom? Can you please repeat Abhishek's definition or your own definition of freedom?
Yeah, Abhishek only repeat because he only given.
Well, I'd say that everyone have their own definition of freedom.
So what's yours?
uh, okay, let not talk to us only, let us talk about the great people, say Nelson Rolilala Mandela, first black president of South Africa. He said that freedom is indivisible. So means freedom gets the humans by the freedom is the rights of their birth. Means they are getting the freedom from their birth, but because of the means at that times they are not getting the freedom, so they fought for it, and now the world is like everyone got the chance to do anything. That's why this rape case and all
So the
is
white
doing.
people were exercising their freedom.
Yeah, but they are
See,
They felt that blacks were means they want to
freedom
control the
is
blacks,
like,
so they were
see,
exercising their freedom.
yeah,
everyone
but
has
they,
their own
So isn't
definition of freedom.
according to Rolila Mandela, everyone instead of the racial discrimination, everyone should get the freedom rather of their skin color and all. That's why they fought against the white because they are
Well, see,
suppressing because they are only whites. That's why they fought only, right?
okay, I like to continue to that. Well, everyone have their own definition of freedom, but when we take our own decisions, we are responsible for it. And when we take that, we need to make sure that our actions aren't affecting or like what do you say, affecting in a negative way to others. As you said, all these crimes which are taking place, you'd find the bad of everything. Everything has its own counterfeit. You can't neglect if it is good. If there is good, there has to be bad. But at the same time, that's the reason to prevent or reduce that bad. We have so many rules and norms to
Then
punish
there
them.
comes the restriction, right? There comes a restriction.
so
When
where
we
there is
Yeah.
start
freedom
thinking
then?
about the others,
Where's
when we start thinking about the others that they are gonna take it in a negative way or a positive way before saying or before keeping our thought in front of the public, then isn't that restriction? It's not freedom, I guess.
Yeah, Vidya, you are saying that freedom means we can do anything.
Yeah, exactly. But freedom doesn't come with a restriction, does it? I don't think
Now
so.
we live in a society where we need to respect others' feeling. It's not restrictions, I would say. It's just that you are keeping others you're keeping others' thoughts in your mind rather than yours independently. It's just one of the way of living a social life. It's not you're not restricting your constraints because you're still expressing it. But you are expressing in a way, such a way that it's not affecting their feelings or their thoughts, but you're still getting what you desire.
The things is like that. Animals are also means getting the freedom. That's why they can roam here and there. But yeah, but we are not like animals. We are means advanced human beings, so we can't roam here and there.
Are
So we
animals
are
getting
but
no? Animals are
wasn't
controlled by
today's
humans,
topic?
actually.
no, I don't think so.
But wasn't today's topic was freedom, the ability to do what wants to do?
Exactly. Exactly.
So are
Without
we
Yeah,
not
that's
going
thinking what
little
the
out
other
of the
party is,
topic?
yeah, without
that's what
thinking,
I'm telling that I'm on
See
behalf
the
of the
thing.
topic.
See the thing is like at the end of the day, we want what we desire. So there are people
At the
who just
cost
don't
at the cost of what?
see. Let me complete. The people there are many like you'll find many people who don't even care about others' emotion. They just say whatever it's there in their heart. They're too transparent. But there are situations where those transparency might affect or others might be affected through our words. They are one category of people, and another category of people like who keep other emotions in mind and channelize their thoughts in such a way that it doesn't even affect their emotions, but at the end they do what they want, like the outcome is what they desire. So they are you can't just predict every human to be the same. That's what the speciality of our humanity is. Every have their own differences, on like everyone is special in their own way, but at the end of the day, we all want what we really desire.
Okay, so
Again, the
everyone
same
wants,
question. At the
yeah,
cost of what? At
At the
what
cost,
cost do you?
see, when I told you the first category of people, they are not like putting anything in line. They're just saying whatever is there in their heart. Just nothing. They're not keeping anything back. But the second category of people, they're just keeping what do you say? Now see, you can express your thoughts in rather in rash behavior or in like soft actions. I can express the same action, same thought, same point in my rash action or my soft behavior. But the thing is like the depends on the people actually. I'm not putting anything in line. It just depends on people. Yeah, I'm just respecting your thoughts and emotions. So that's the reason I'm just changing my own what way of delivering my message. Okay, you can say that I'm putting it in line. I'm not using whatever way I feel like, but I'm just putting putting your emotions in consideration. But I don't. But that's important to live in a social life.
but not everyone is that kind, right? Not everyone is
Not
that kind that they're,
everyone.
yeah, exactly. Not everyone is that kind that they're gonna care about your feelings or care about others' feelings, right?
So
That's
now
why
that depends on
governments
the
are there, no?
individuality who takes it in. Now I have said you some I might have said you some rash words. Now if you take it in a rash like you take it in a negative way and think there's something problem in yourself rather than mine or saying like taking negative, now it's your own decision that you're taking in. Now it's again
Right.
the mentality of the human who takes it in.
Not convinced, still not convinced. Like,
Like what's the point you are not convinced with?
I'm not convinced. Like, you categorize people in two different ways. That the one
There
who
might be
don't
many.
think,
I've just stated two. There might be many.
there might be many, obviously, not everyone is that kind to think about others before saying what they want to. See, we live in a society where people tend to care about others, but still they don't.
Okay.
We have so
Because
many social media.
some people are means they are not doing such kinds of things because of some restrictions and rules and regulations they must have
The
to
rules
follow.
and regulations aren't
That
working
is
that
why
well
the
still.
society is running. That is
The
why the society is
rules,
running. If suppose if we withdraw all the armies, police, and no, means not a single defense personnel will be there in the country, do you think the society will run? And letting the people freedom do whatever he wants to do. Do you think you can go to buy anything alone? It doesn't mean that we are giving the freedom and all. There's certain rules and regulations should be there so that the bad or negative kind of people should not means do whatever they are thinking to. If we are means withdrawing all the defense personnel, you can't go alone.
So
Even
when
means you
where
can't
does
go
the
to the
freedoms comes
near
if we
to
are
the house.
restricted by laws and this?
exactly. That's what the point is.
If
That's why to
freedom
run the
means the ability
society,
to do
right?
what we want to do, then
See, these
In
again
a
we have
laws
positive
are
come under.
in a positive way, ability
see
to
these
do the
laws
work in
are
a
we shouldn't
positive way.
consider them as restrictions. It's just for the safety purpose that we don't cross our limit of freedom. Everyone
And
have their own limits of freedom.
just to you girls, I'm mistaking the examples of you, just to you girls to give the freedom so that you can work in night, means the government is taking such kind of things just
We
to
are
give you
still
the
not
freedom.
free. We are still not free to walk at night. No, we are still not.
That's
What's the
what I
use
am
of the
telling
ring?
na. If we are withdrawing the police personnel and all, you can't go alone. I'm 100% sure.
It is not still not completely free, but yet it's improved from your past times.
Hmm.
Won't you agree to that?
No, I won't. It's getting worse day by day.
Well, that depends. That's a controversy topic again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
Okay. See, the rules that you're talking about, we shouldn't consider them as restrictions. Now, that's where people get wrong. They're not restrictions. They're actually like for our own safety purpose, so that when someone's limit of freedom is extended, or like it's if someone's freedom is affecting others' freedom, at that time, whom are we gonna do? Like we can't just clash head on. So we need some particular way to just get our own way back, so that we can like get what to say, so that we can just settle the matter rather than getting into a violence. Now I'm affecting your freedom. We can't just fight, right? If we just start fighting, now what will happen at the end?
Let Tanzim and Pooja come in, otherwise it may get morning.
Yes, sir. So the point is, many have thought
You
freedom. Yes, cycle.
no. Continue.
Okay. So many people have thought that freedom is the ability, or it is what to say. It is an act. It is not so. Freedom is a consequence of how you experience things, particularly when it comes to life, how you experience life. So, see, people have mistaken compulsiveness to be freedom. For example, if you find your friend, okay, always sitting with the phone, you just tell your friend for 2 days, don't use your phone. Just sit and talk to me. I'm your friend. I want to talk to you. Then they will ask, why don't I have the freedom to use my phone? Now, this is called as compulsiveness. You badly want to use your phone. And you know your friend is going to be there with you just for 2 days or asking you for just 2 days. And 2 days you can't spare out, and you call, and that compulsiveness, you call it as freedom. I don't think is freedom. And freedom, yes, it's a very westernized definition or a westernized approach because, yeah, I mean, even in India, it is happening so because Indians are also becoming like the Westerns, the goal oriented or the result oriented. But what about the process? It is what is it? Indians are not bothered much on the process. If you are truly devoted or dedicated to the process, you will find the result will come automatically or naturally. You don't have to work or bother behind it. Say, for example, you have a garden and you want flowers to come. You can't sit and think about flowers over there. You can't say, okay, I want flowers, so I will sit over flowers, come. You can't do this. It's really not going to happen that way. You have to think about soil, manure, water, sunlight. All of these things have nothing to do, or I mean, it doesn't feel or smell or look like a flower. But only if these things are taken up and if you sow the seed, flowers will come naturally. I mean, they will blossom naturally. You don't have to worry about if flowers have come or no. Similarly, freedom is that, you know, people say we want freedom and they are trying to bind themselves to certain things in any form, thought, in terms of thought or emotion or maybe any materialistic thing or immaterialistic thing, whatever. But they are trying to bind themselves. Okay. So that is not freedom. If you're totally free from things, that is freedom. If you can just sit by yourself without anything, you don't have your phone, no, nothing, you don't have anybody to talk to, but still you're happy all around, you are totally free from anything and everything.
Well, that's well said. But the fact is, like, freedom is misinterpreted. That's what your whole discussion is about. When people say about freedom, they today, especially the generation, try to prioritize their comforts rather than others. They just they have just synchronized comfort with freedom. Now, if I just restrict anything, I'm like losing my freedom. That's what the present generation state freedom to be as. But in my terms, freedom is much more than that. It's just the sense of feeling like you do whatever you want to do. Now, see, suppose you don't have your decision, you don't have the ability to take your own decisions, you don't have the ability to express your own thoughts. What will happen to that guy? What will be his mindset in that case? You have no rights to express, no rights to speak. You just have like whatever you get the orders, you need to follow those. What will happen to that guy?
They might be resign from the job if it is if you are okay. I'm
No,
with
it's
you
not just
only.
the job. I'm talking about the day-to-day life itself. You have no rights to speak. You just have no way to express yourself. How you are gonna think? Like, how will you satisfy your inner self, the soul? The soul will be ailing at you. Come on, I have to express. Now you don't have the freedom itself to say anything. How will a compressed soul live?
Agreed to your point, but on the contrary, okay, people, okay, they say I have freedom, so why can't I do? And many of them in their teenage and adolescence, They get into, drugs and all sorts of such things in the name of freedom,
And
not realizing that their life
sorry
is
to
spoiled.
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. And that's the reason we do have our legal norms. When people do bad, that's the reason they are punished or corrected. I must say, not punished, they are corrected
and and
so
even
that they
their
don't
parents
repeat it
and
again.
teachers are there to look after, so that they won't go for the bad habit.
Sorry to say this, cycle, but in some of the Western universities, I mean, in foreign countries, it is said that free beer is supplied to school students because universities have done a research and it is found that at a very young age, if you get used to a particular kind of beer, then it is that what you're going to consume for the rest of the life, and this is their
But
way of
if it is
Uh,
brandifying
good,
it.
if the beer is good for health, then why our college is not
yeah,
supplying to us?
limit
We are happy
amount of
to
still
No,
we are happy to get
so
this. Instead of tea, we can get this.
no,
we are
my whole
addicted to tea
concept.
and coffee. Rather than that, they being addicted to tea and coffee, they're addicted to beer, which is important for their lifestyle to live in the Western. Western's climate is much chiller than India.
So you mean people in, say, Shimla and those areas also, they have to get used to it?
They're like in the sense, see, that depends again on our tradition. We are not, our tradition doesn't allow us to, this particular tradition which doesn't allow us to drink alcoholic drinks. But that's the reason we are addicting to tea and coffee. It's just the thing, is the product which is changed. Everyone has been addicted to it. It's just the product which is changed. In the Western, it's the beer, and here it's tea and coffee. That's
Yes,
all.
you are being
Yes,
addicted. That is
Puja is
called being
actually
compulsive.
you are actually saying for the sake of freedom, the college is providing the beers to the
No, no, no.
student,
No, no, no. No, it was not
or
that.
to take indirectly the
See,
beer
that's what we are
without
all
the
doing
knowledge of
now.
their parents. So the college is providing with the knowledge of parents or the parents' permission.
I have
See,
no
that's
clue
where we
about
all
what
are
the
wrong,
parents
right?
are doing, but
Sorry to
the point
interrupt.
is, yeah, okay.
Just a minute. That's where we all are wrong, right? See, like the freedom isn't subjected to any particular object that we are having a discussion on beer and tea. But the freedom isn't subjected to that. It's the notion of self expressing your thoughts. That's what I have asked before. What will happen when we don't have all that, we don't have the right to express itself? You can just, you have a lot of thoughts going on in your mind, but you cannot express them. Do you really think if we didn't had the freedom to express and all, we could have made so much of discoveries in life? There's so much of discoveries which have come up. That's just because they have taken risks, they have thought out of the box, and they had the right to express what they have thought. Now that's the reason. Now suppose in a monarchy, basically not monarchy, the worst part of the monarchy, if I would say, where just the king's decision is everywhere. Every, like, whatever the king says is good. Like, that's the final decision. And the king says whatever technology that I'm implementing or the rules that I'm implementing is the supreme. Do you really think the country would develop? Well, that's the reason, that's the main reason that we had so much of revolutions. For people wanted freedom. They wanted to live their lives with the, okay, when we, another advantage of freedom is it allows us to take our own decisions, and the decisions that we take, we are responsible for it. We have no one to blame for. Suppose we make our own decisions, and yeah, obviously we will fail in life. That's, failure comes with success for sure. And when we fail, we eventually learn. But at the same time, we get brave enough to accept our failure. Now suppose if I'm not in a state of freedom, and someone else is implementing some things on me, and eventually I need to go in that path, and I end up in failure. Now there's always that guilt or like that hatredness for the person who has showed me that path, because I didn't choose that path, it was just burdened on me. Now do you really think that state of mind is healthy?
But I would like to keep my points forward before conclusion. So, the moment we consider freedom, one thing comes to our mind is we're shackled, we're deprived, and something that we are forbidden. Okay, we think about the thing which we are not allowed to do. So, we are keeping something prohibited as binary to freedom. So, whenever we take a topic, we always go with the binary object, whatever is. For example, if you talk about day, you need to support that uh, with night. The moment you take boy, you need to support that with girl. So binary oppositions always work to argue with each other. Then when we take the point of freedom, what is the binary? Okay, can you call it slavery?
Yes,
Freedom
sir.
is the binary of slavery, where you don't have freedom. Freedom is something we have completely, we are free. Despite having this concept of freedom, we are not free. Either mentally we are shackled, or physically we are controlled, or system is controlling us. I just mentioned the topic freedom. I never mentioned about the other person. But we directly got into other person. We directly got into law. We directly got into rules. We directly got into forbidden things. We never understood what is the freedom here. So understanding freedom, we should have gone back to the slavery where you were slaves, where we were slaves. That's why people always take British to demonstrate freedom because they kept us slaves. So freedom is more about freeing yourselves. Freeing, yeah, because all of us are not free. The moment we talk about freedom, we're already preconditioned. We already have assumptions, presumptions, and we already have things which are already those things themselves have captured us. Instead of getting free, we always think about following things, going to the same things. Okay, just an example: you come to college every day. You have freedom to go outside the college, not to come to college. You have the freedom, right? Nobody is bringing you in chains and tying you to the class benches. You have freedom to go out. You have freedom to go to university. You have freedom to go to bus stand. You have freedom to go to the places you like, but you don't choose because you believe coming to college, reading things and studying things, that is the freedom you got. More than that, you don't have any concept of freedom. The moment you think something outside of these things, you think they are forbidden things. Who told you they are forbidden? You yourselves think that they are forbidden to you. Your mind says that they are forbidden to you. So you never try something which is to be tried. You don't even think that can be possible. So whenever first of all, we ourselves are we are captives. We are captive. We are captivated by your own brains, by your own system, by your own thoughts. We never think that okay, today let me not go to college, let me go to library entirely, let me study that. We never think, we never do that because we think that the moment we don't go to class, attendance won't be there. Okay, then teacher would ask me tomorrow, why didn't I come to college the day before? So lot many things are there. When we think about, we always want to be chained, we always want to be bound, we always want to fit into things. We never try things outside the system. We never try new things. We're always bound. As long as we don't explore, we don't find something called freedom, what we are meant for. We always think to fit in the system. We always find to think to follow somebody. We always think to find a job, right? These things we are accustomed to. And even our parents tell that study well, study hard, get a good job. Okay? Come first in the class, come first in the university, come first in the nation. So our freedom is set with all the priorities of getting first. So nobody comes out of these shackled ideas. Nobody gives something new. Nobody has to give. We don't think. Rather, we think that coming first is freedom, and getting highly paid is freedom, and living a life of comfort is freedom. So questioning arises here: what is actually freedom? What you're meant for? So this was just a point for introspection. You can think on this. Okay. So
So there's one last point I would like to
yes,
say.
yes, yes, yes. Welcome.
Okay, so I'd like to correspond the term freedom to two things. The first thing would be wealth and medicine. Okay, why am I saying medicine is like, see, lack when the medicine is taken in a like what you say, the consistent amount or the prescribed amount, it does good. It's like it serves its purpose. But when it's taken in a shorter amount than prescribed, it does no good. And when taken higher amount, yeah, we all know the disastrous consequences. So it's similar to the freedom. When we the what do you say, the feeling of freedom is low within us, we don't come forward, we don't feel the term of expressing ourselves, and we just lag behind. And when the term, like the feeling of freedom is way above our limits, that's where we start exploiting others freedom. And my second consideration would be with wealth. That's because that's a human nature. When we don't have wealth, we just keep on running behind it to get it. And once we have finally achieved it, we just start spending it without even thinking much of saving. Okay, the people do save, but eventually they spend more rather than saving. So that's what we do with the freedom as well. We just fought so many wars and revolutions to get freedom, but once we get freedom, we are again like doing all those sort of nasty actions, eventually due to which we lose our freedom. Then again there is a war for freedom, again the people start losing their freedom. So this is a continuous cycle. People have to realize that freedom isn't just like bounding yourself to objects or something. It's just the ability, it's within, it's like the ability to satisfy your soul, that we are present in our society, that we are living in a world. We should be grateful and we should be thankful to them who have like been a part of our life. Now, like that will be a real freedom, feeling of freedom to our soul. That's what I think is.
I believe freedom is exploring what your soul says. Go behind that. That is called real freedom. You'll find new happiness, something new which you are meant for. Okay. So instead of following everyday routine customs, routine traditions, and routine timetable, you're not meant for that. Do you think that let me take today, let me think differently, let me not go to the college, let me not take the book? I'm not meant for only these things. Something is there beyond this. The world doesn't teach you that. Freedom is something beyond everything where you feel really refreshing, where you feel really that is what you required in life, cherishing, and that gives you real happiness. There are many students who get fed up always studying. I give precisely example of people those study for UPSC for 1 or 2 years, and after 2 years they say we locked ourselves in room for 2 years. That's what they say. That means people are doing something which is burdensome. They don't want to do. That's not freedom. Because they want to do this, because they want to gain something which they think that is freedom. Again, they are into something, another trap where they again don't experience freedom. So, freedom is something where you really feel you're at the best. Not following someone, not following the system. Again, if you follow system and follow someone, again you're following somebody. So I would say definitely the world is free, but we don't choose. We have always fear, we have always the sense of feeling that we don't belong to that area. We don't belong to the space. We belong to this space. So as long as you captivate yourself, you chain yourself, you can never experience freedom. As this workshop human values says, if someone tells you something, don't believe. It says, if someone tells you something, don't believe. You experiment it, you experience it. What you feel, then you believe. In any sphere of life, don't believe anything if someone tells you. If I'm telling you something, don't believe. Go experiment, and afterwards you'll come to a conclusion. Believe that. So that's called real finding out what the things are and what you are. So they say we are preconditioned by thoughts, desires, and expectations. and our preconditions, like as our psychology is now. We always dream, we always think with preconditioned mind. We always dream or have expectations which are already preconditioned within us, and that is supported by sensation. Sensation, I would say, feelings, and the experiences we go through, and that's in the Hindi they say called samvedna. Okay, so beyond this, there is something called natural acceptance. That is the ultimate truth. Ultimate truth that for me it is truth, for you also it is a truth. It cannot be truth for me, and it can be not truth for you. It cannot work that way. It has to work for everyone. That is the ultimate truth. So the talks here, debate, maybe or group discussion should change you. If they don't change you, if they don't take you to another level, these things are just another set of slavery.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, Tushar.
Sir, as you said, freedom is about exploring, no, sir. So, if that experimentation and exploring, if suppose that experiment ends our life, sir, means some people will be there. So, what's that, sir? I have a doubt. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Tushar, if you don't, you feel that there is a road which is not trodden, which is not taken up, and you feel that you should take it up, you should take that road. That's you feel that you want to explore that. Or there is another road which is already explored. People are going through that. So you have choice always. You want to be in the same road, or you want to find something new. You have choice. You have choice of freedom. Okay, freedom to choose between two, and it is your choice which you choose. People always find themselves miserable, unhappy because they choose what everyone else chooses. And people, those who choose the rare thing which is meant for them, they really live in their own world. Nothing can from outside disturb them. It may not be true in all the situations. Sometimes outside things they directly attack us, but most of the cases they will be in their own world if they are not attacked by outside world. Okay. In some cases, it happens that people are really, suppose, imagine that I don't want to disturb anybody. I am in my own world, and there are certainly people, those who want to disturb me because they may get pleasure out of that. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So we always have freedom to choose what we want to do, whether to do this or to do that, whether to take this road or that road. But finally, we end up choosing whatever we want. And finally, we say we wanted that, but really, did we want that? Somebody says that during the this workshop, someone says, people say that I didn't want to get angry, but after getting angry, they say, I didn't want to get angry. Did they really want? Did they really feel that they didn't want to get angry? Did they really decide that they don't want to get angry? They didn't decide. Afterwards, they really didn't want to get angry. They didn't want. That statement itself is wrong. If they really did, they really wanted not to get angry, they would never get angry. This is the truth. Philosophy always leads us to the truth, but many of us find it useful. Many of us think that it is not useful. It depends upon how we take it.